Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for November 2018. Can you believe we're almost at the end of this year? It's hard to believe it just flew by, and in some ways it seemed like to take a long time too. So I guess it depends on your perspective. So for this month's monthly reading, for the main message for everyone, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Patricia Corey and Alyssa Bartha. It looks like this on the outside. And your special message card this month, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Angels of Atlantis deck, which is by Stuart Pierce and Richard Crooks. So I've had this deck for a while, but it's just been packed away, and I decided to pull it out for this month's monthly reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at your stones of choice this month before we get into the energies. So all of these are going to be quartz crystals, but they're a little bit different, and I was guided to choose these 3 different quartz crystals based on the messages of what they were signifying for you if you wanted to choose them. And this first one is called rutilated quartz, and you can see that there's all these rutile coated in here. So the rutile is actually like a mineral here, and it's within the quartz crystal. And again, you can see that, if you can see it clearly, there's all these lines of the rutile in here. And if this is your stone of choice, my angels and guides led me to express to you that this was going to be your choice if you were choosing to be open to the many possibilities, the many avenues, and the many directions that Spirit could take you. So this is like many opportunities, and there might even be many decisions or many different paths that you could follow to where there might be choices, but you're open to all these various different directions here with this rutilated quartz. Your second stone of choice is this clear quartz crystal cluster. Now, this is your stone of choice if you are wanting to make a choice based on the idea of community, of working together with people of like mind for a similar goal, or in alignment with a similar kind of humanitarian belief system, if you will. And the quartz crystal clusters are really good for that. And you can see, as I turn it around, there's all these different points, all these different formations from the base. And the crystal cluster is really good for group work, group activity, networking, connecting with others. And this is why, if this is your stone of choice, it's with the idea and intention that you want to find your soul family and connect with other people of a humanitarian mindset to kind of better the world or better humanity in some way. And then your third stone of choice is this clear quartz crystal. And you can see that rather than having points on the end, as we normally see with the clear quartz, this is actually rounded on both ends. And so this is a feminine energy, you know, that rounded energy. The points are very masculine, very direct, you know, very take charge. Whereas the ones that have the rounded end here is very soft and very gentle, very receptive, very nurturing. So this is your crystal of choice if you are choosing to move forward into this month of November with the idea of the divine feminine energies. And again, the divine feminine energies of nurturing and love and compassion, healing, peace, surrendering and being open to how the plan unfolds. You know, it's that, again, that very soft, gentle, divine feminine energy, which is very much needed on this planet for all of us, not just the women, but also the men, to kind of merge into and equalize themselves with that divine feminine energy within you. And it doesn't mean it's not powerful. Divine feminine energy is very powerful. It's the energy of creation, right? Women give birth, physical birth. And so there is a power in that feminine energy. So again, your crystals of choice are the rutilated quartz crystal, the quartz crystal cluster, or this Divine Feminine Energy Clear Quartz. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the energies of the month of November. Now, I always start out the monthly videos by talking about the numerology vibration of the month. And if you remember last month, the month of October, we were in a time of endings, the closing out of a cycle. And I need to explain how we get there for some of you that are new and figuring out the numerology vibration of the month that we're in on a universal level, on a collective level. So this is across the board. The way you figure that out is by looking at the year that we're in, and this year we're in 2018. And if you add up the numbers 2, 0, 1, and 8, the numbers that comprise 2018, we have a master number 11 energy. So we're all in this universal year of the master number 11 energy, which is the year of the light worker, the year of patient movement forward, of staying balanced, of focus on relationships and partnerships and equality. And again, balancing our divine masculine and divine feminine energies within ourselves. And then to find out the numerology vibration of the month that we're in, we add that master number 11 energy for 2018 to the number of the month that we're in. So I want to go back to, again, October, last month. October is the 10th month. So if we add the 11 plus the 10, it gave us 21. We talked about the reduced vibration being the 3, 2 plus 1 is 3, but the 21st Major Arcana, and this is important to kind of bring us into the month of November, but the 21st Major Arcana of the Tarot is the World card, the last of the Major Arcana. So October saw us wrapping things up, releasing old energies and situations, maybe even belief systems, letting go and healing emotions. And it was about the clearing out of the old to prepare for the new. Okay, that's what the World card in part is about. The other part of the World card is that it's about recognition on like a career level for who you are. And we can even say recognition on a soul level for who you are and what you have to offer the world. So you're being, more recognized and appreciated for the energy that you're sharing. Now that brings us to November. November's the 11th month. So if we add that master number 11 energy of 2018 to November, which is the 11th month, it gives us 22. And, we can say that there's no 22nd Major Arcana in the Tarot. So we need to reduce that down to a 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. And I'm going to talk about that briefly, but I'm also going to share with you what my intuitive thoughts are about this. Now, if we look at that reduced number 4 for the month of November, we can say that the number 4, numerologically speaking, is about structure, manifestation. It's about form. It's about work, effort, determination, perseverance. All of those things are keywords for the number 4. Now, the 4th Major Arcana in the Tarot is the Emperor card. And the Emperor card is, again, it's that structure, that security, that leadership, that being a leader, taking charge of your life to create some sort of structure, to create some sort of security in your life. Now, sometimes the number 4 can be seen as a little controlling, a little bit restrictive or limiting. It's like all work and no play. It's a very serious kind of number. And sometimes we're putting forth a lot of effort with that number 4. So my intuitive guidance is that we're going to look at this as a 22 month. First of all, the number 22 numerologically is a master number vibration. So now we're in an 11 master number year, and now we're in a 22 master number month for November. So this is a powerhouse month. This is a powerful month. And the idea with the master number 11 for the year is that it's about inspiration, it's about leadership, it's about intuition, psychic abilities, healing abilities. It's about imagination and creation kind of on a higher spiritual level. With that master number 11, sometimes it's hard to bring that creation, those ideas, that inspiration. It's sometimes difficult to bring it down into earthly manifestation. And that's where the number 22 comes in for this month of November, because master number 22 is considered the great manifester. So quote unquote, that's the key phrase for 22. It's the master manifester. And this is about bringing that inspiration and ideas from that master number 11 and bringing it down into the earth plane, grounding it, and bringing things into manifestation, bringing things into form. Because remember, that base number of 2 plus 2 of the 22 equals a 4. And 4 is about form, structure, and manifestation. But the 22 does it on a much larger level. Now we also look at the number 2 and 2 in there, 22. The 2s represent balance, equality, things being fair, things being just, which is where the equality comes in, things being equal and balanced. It's also about partnerships and relationships. So this month is also going to bring in the idea of working with one another in an equal and balanced way. And it might be literally working, like in a career sense. It might be working with other people, but also I mean working with other people in a romantic relationship sense, or a friendship sense, or a family member sense, to where again, there's equal give and take, and there's compromise. And even if the other person, maybe the other person has skills and gifts in one area and the other person does not, but that other person has skills and gifts in another area that the other person doesn't. So we're talking about equality in, as far as giving and taking of the gifts that we have on an individual level. Not that they're the same, but that we're sharing ourselves with one another in an equal way. So that also comes into play. And now we're going to get to, again, that idea of how it relates to the tarot. And I already mentioned that as we reduce the 22 to a 4, the fourth major arcana is the Emperor card. But intuitively, I feel that this month is going to be vibrating to the 0 major arcana, which is the Fool card. And this is an interesting thing because, you know, in numerology, we only use the numbers 1 through 9, and of course any combination that brings us to double digits and triple digit numbers and so on. But there's really no talk, if you will, about the number 0, because 0 really isn't even a number. Now it is mentioned in numerology as being something to the nth power. Like if you figured out your life path, for instance, and your life path was a 10 or a 20 or a 30, you know, it's 3 plus, or 3 in that 0, or 2 in that 0, etc. The 0 kind of brings the qualities of the previous number to a higher state, a higher power, if you will. So again, going back to the tarot, and when we talk about the numerology vibration of month to month to month, or year to year to year, there's never going to be a consideration for the 0 major arcana, because it's impossible to have numbers add up to be a 0. So in a lot of numerology teachings and how it relates to the tarot, it is talked about, and this is talked about in the tarot as well, that the 22nd major arcana is really the Fool card, which is the 0. So in other words, as the soul travels in its journey through the tarot, the first major arcana, the second, the third, all the way up to the 21st, the last of the major arcana, to get back to the beginning, to get back to the Fool card, the 0, it is actually also the 22, okay? And I hope you're following that, you know, that line of reasoning, or that how I'm just describing it to you. So with this month being a 22 master month, we're vibrating to the Fool card, because last month, October, remember, was the World card. It was a conclusion. It was an ending of some sort of cycle for us. Now as we move into the 22nd major arcana, i.e. the 0 major arcana, the Fool card, we're now taking a leap of faith. We're on a new path. We're in kind of a new beginning energy, and that's what the Fool card is all about. The Fool is often shown walking a path, a new path, or the Fool card is often seen as someone who's getting ready to step off of a cliff, and he's stepping off that cliff with faith, knowing that there's going to be some sort of security or stability beneath his feet, and he's going to land on his 2 feet and be able to move forward. So it's about trust, it's about faith, it's about taking that leap of faith, it's about a new beginning, a new exciting beginning, but a beginning into the unknown. Because again, October was a conclusion of some sort. Now it could have been a karmic conclusion of old energies that you played out in previous lifetimes. It could have been a literal ending or conclusion of some situation or relationship in your life, or a conclusion of the way you've been thinking or perceiving your life or moving forward on your life. Now again, we're into that Fool energy of moving forward with excitement, with enthusiasm. The Fool is always excited, even though he doesn't know what lies ahead of him. He's excited. And I know we've spent a lot of time talking about this, but I think it's a very important month, this month of November, to pay attention to. So now that we have the numerology vibration of the month, let's talk about the highlights astrologically before we look at what our angels and guides have to say. And I'm only going to hit the highlights, but there are some pretty significant highlights this month. And one of those is on November 6th, where Uranus, the planet that's considered the Great Awakener, the planet of sudden redirections or changes, the planet of freedom, the planet of higher dimensional energies. Uranus is going to be retrograding back into Aries for a time. Now, Uranus is one of the slower moving planets. In the last few months, it moved just into Taurus. It went all the way up to 2 degrees of Taurus, and it did go retrograde some weeks ago. But now it's retrograding from Taurus back into Aries. So we're going to feel that shift of energy with that. And that again starts on November 6th. Now it's going to stay in Aries for quite a few weeks before, first of all, it turns back to direct motion, and then it goes back into Taurus, but we'll talk about that in future videos. Uranus is an electrical energy, a higher vibrating kind of energy. To me, it rules like opening up the crown chakra and allowing information to be downloaded within you. While it was in Taurus briefly here in the last few weeks, Taurus is a more grounding earth sign, and Taurus does rule money and finances, and it rules work and effort. Aries is a fire sign. So Uranus kind of has a little bit of an air/fire kind of feeling to it. And it's moving now back into the fire sign of Aries, which Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of new beginnings. We just talked about the Fool card being the card of, in essence, new beginnings, or walking a new path, walking into a new energy. So Uranus shifting back into Aries is going to reignite that idea of new beginnings and leadership and inspiration and all those things that are Aries-like. You know, you can look up the keywords for Aries, and Uranus again with that high vibration to it and the freedom energy to it and the sudden revelations that it has to bring. I think it's going to be really an exciting kind of shift there. Right around again the 5th, 6th, 7th, when it's first shifting into Aries, you'll feel that kind of buzzing energy, I think, and all the things that go along with it. Now on the 7th of November, we have a new moon. The new moon is going to be in Scorpio because the sun is in Scorpio right now, at least for the first part of the month. And the moon also is going to be in Scorpio. Now this is a new moon at 15 degrees of Scorpio. New moons are about new beginnings, planting new seeds. The sign of Scorpio is a very empathic, intuitive, transformational kind of sign. It's a water sign. So the new beginnings are on an emotional level. The new beginnings are about transforming yourself. The new beginnings are about empowering yourself, because Scorpio is a sign of transformation and empowerment. It's also a sign of death and rebirth. So all of these things, transformation, transmuting lower vibrational energies, death and rebirth, power or empowerment, is where the new beginnings lie for that new moon. And then on the 8th of November, we're going kind of sequentially here, but there's really a lot of good things happening on those 3 days. On the 8th of November, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of growth, the planet of abundance and prosperity, the planet that rules our belief systems, it's moving finally out of Scorpio and it's moving into the sign of Sagittarius. Now Jupiter stays in a sign for about a year. So it has been since last October, I believe it was, that it was in Scorpio. Now that it's moving into Sagittarius, it's going to be in Sagittarius from November 8th until December of 2019. So again, we have a good year of Jupiter in Sagittarius. And what's interesting about this is that Jupiter is the planet that naturally rules the sign of Sagittarius. So Jupiter is now in its home sign. It's at home. It feels good. Jupiter in Scorpio was expanding all of these energies of secrets and power and control issues and transformation and death and rebirth and our belief systems about all of these things. Now Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to expand the idea of inspiration and seeing the big picture and learning new things and maybe even teaching other people, either literally or figuratively speaking. Sagittarius is also about it's about religion, philosophy, higher learning. Again, it's about inspiration and inspiring others and sharing information with others and guiding others. So all of these things are going to expand. Now, on the negative end, over this next year with Jupiter and Sagittarius, we might see people with different belief systems, religious and spiritual belief systems, might be judging one another, because Sagittarius sometimes can be a judgmental sign. So that can expand and get a little out of control. But on the positive end, we're expanding into creative new ideas. You know, Sagittarius has these creative, inspirational, fiery, again from the heavens kind of downloading of information, kind of ideas and thoughts. So I'm really excited about Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. Again, learning is indicated. So this could be taking classes, taking workshops, teaching classes or workshops, reading material. You know, it's like you're just absorbing and learning information with Jupiter and Sagittarius. On the 15th, Mars is making a sign change, and Mars is going to be moving into Pisces. From November 15th until January 1st, it will be in that sign. Now, Mars is the warrior planet. It's a fiery planet. It's moving into Pisces, which is a water sign. So what happens when you put water and fire together? It kind of waters things down just a little bit. Now, this is the spiritual warrior, though. Pisces is about unconditional love, compassion, peace, you know, and Mars being the warrior planet, if you kind of combine those two, the highest expression can be being the spiritual warrior. Now, on the other hand, with Mars being about energy, action, forward movement, being in Pisces, it might water that down a little bit. Now, if we're working on something spiritual or working on spiritual projects or progressing forward with something like that, you might have a better time with it. But if you're, you know, trying to move forward with business, let's say, for instance, Mars in Pisces is not the best placement for that, unless, again, there's a little bit of a spiritual emphasis. On the 16th, Venus is turning to direct motion at 25 degrees Libra, and on the same day, Mercury is turning retrograde at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, Venus rules relationships and it rules money. And it's in the sign of Libra as it turns back to direct motion. So there's something happening here with relationships and partnerships. There's something that we've been learning as far as equality and balance within our relationships and partnerships. And around that time on the 16th, we're going to really feel it come to a head. Mercury, the planet of the mind, communication, our thoughts, our ideas, it's turning retrograde at 13 Sagittarius. This is a pretty good placement for Mercury. You know, Mercury can be a quick thinker, a creative thinker, an inspiring thinker, and communicator while it's in Sagittarius. Of course, we know during Mercury retrograde, sometimes there's miscommunication or there's, you know, things being misguided, or there can also be a little bit of a judgment thing here because of that sign of Sagittarius and Mercury being about communication. So watch your words. Sometimes Sagittarius, especially with the Mercury there, wants to speak before they think. So it's wise to think before you speak. Hope I said that right. Mercury is going to be retrograde until December 6th, and it retrogrades back into Scorpio for a short time, but we'll talk about that more next month. And then the Sun moves into Sagittarius on the 22nd, as it does every year around this time. On the 22nd, 23rd, depending on what part of the world you're in, we have a full moon at 0 degrees of Gemini. So full moons are about the heightening and intensifying of an energy. This one is at 0 degrees, the very first degree. There's that zero thing again, right? With the 0 Major Arcana being the full card. Now we have a full moon at 0 degrees of Gemini, the sign of communication, the sign of thoughts, the sign of ideas. So, you know, this is a great time to like write or speak or, you know, network, you know, put yourself out there in some way, shape, or form, or have important communications. However, on the 24th, Neptune, which is a very elusive planet, sometimes a confusing planet. It rules the spiritual realm and things that are intangible. Neptune, I almost lost the planet's name there for a minute. Neptune is going to be turning back to direct motion at 13 degrees of Pisces. Now, turning back to direct motion is a good thing, but while it's slowing down for the few days before and then the few days after before it picks up speed, things might seem a little ungrounded, a little bit foggy, a little bit unclear. There might be some confusion. So that, coupled with that earlier Mercury retrograde, you really have to be clear when you're speaking with and sharing your thoughts with other people. And I think those are all the important highlights, and we are already at 25 minutes and some seconds. So let's go ahead and take a look at the message from our angels and guides, and we turn over the first card. Beautiful way to start the month, the Three of Chalices. This is the Three of Cups in the traditional tarot, and this is about celebration. This is a card of emotionally feeling good, emotionally feeling positive. And again, you know, if you think of three people clinging their glasses together here in a toast, this is the card of celebration, celebration of a new birth. Now, the new birth could be literal, but mostly the new birth is about a new beginning, right? A new way of feeling joyful, feeling optimistic, feeling positive. And this is a very positive way to start out with this month's reading. I never noticed it before, but in the background, if you can see, there's actually the image of a woman there, a female, and she has, to me, angel wings here on either side. So again, this is a very positive, spiritual, and emotional new beginning. It's coupled with, I think, a lot of messages that are coming in from higher dimensions, higher realms. So make sure that you're paying attention to what your angels and guides are telling you through other people and conversations you might have, or doing your own reading perhaps, or getting a reading. There's good messages that are coming in. Let's take a look at the second card to get more information. And we turn that over. By the way, I did meditate and draw the cards ahead of time because I knew the video would be long. Wow, so Major Arcana number 3, abundance. Perfect, beautiful. Now, isn't this interesting? The Three of Chalices, Major Arcana number 3, abundance. This is the Empress card in the traditional tarot, and the Empress is about new birth as well. Giving birth. She's often shown as a pregnant woman on the card. So she's about to give birth to something new, birthing a new project, birthing a new idea, maybe actually birthing a child. So some of you actually may be giving birth or finding out that you're pregnant in this month of November. But again, more often than that, it's not so literal, but metaphoric. So here we're giving birth to something beautiful, something expansive, new ideas, new projects, new prosperity, new blessings coming in. This is a card of blessings and prosperity and abundance. And I love, again, we talked about downloads of information. Look at that energy. There's a download of energy coming straight from the heavens down through her crown chakra, but also coming out here and creating this triangle. So again, the base of the triangle has more structure and stability to it. But it's energy and blessings and opportunities and gifts coming in from the heavens above and being downloaded, but you have to be open to receive it. Remember that divine feminine energy I talked about is about surrendering and being open and receptive to receiving the blessings, to receiving the abundance. Now, I want to also point out that abundance isn't just about money and finances, but it's about support, it's about love, it's about opportunities, it's about, you know, a lot of things. So be open to what that abundance might be about. And then the last card is the Sage of Crystals. Now, the Sage of Crystals is like the Page of Earth or Page of Pentacles. So there's messages here coming in, and you can see that this woman is actually holding a crystal ball. So with that crystal ball, she's intuiting messages, and messages of not just a practical nature, which is the crystals, but something that's going to be tangible. It's like intuiting these spiritual messages, but being able to take the movement forward to make something manifest with those messages, with that information. So pay attention to meetings with other people, communications with other people. I want to say go out and network with other people. This might be for your business, for career, for projects you're working on, but this is a very positive indication of abundance and prosperity. Again, crystals. Crystals come from the earth. Earth signs are about manifesting things. So with all three of these cards, we have a lot of blessings, a lot of beautiful stuff coming in. Now I just want to briefly show you, I forgot to show you the 0 Major Arcana and the Syrian Starseed Tarot. This is called Starseed, and you can see again, something's coming down from the heavens. The starseed is coming down but hasn't quite hit the earth yet. So, you know, we're on our way to this new beginning and of grounding something in a manifestation, but it's still in the sky, it's still in the heavens, and still on its way down. So be that starseed. Be open to whatever that new path or new beginning is all about. Now we are at 30 minutes, so I'm going to stop this video because I find that sometimes my camera shuts off by itself around 32 minutes. And we haven't done the special message card yet. So I'm going to make a separate video with the special message card and splice it together with this one. So I'm going to stop this one here and then we'll pick right back up with your special messages. Namaste. Hello everyone, Colleen Lemma again with your special message card to follow up for the November monthly reading that I just did. Okay, so thank you for your patience. The monthly videos tend to be sometimes a little bit longer, and sometimes it's really difficult for me to kind of condense them any shorter than the information that I have to share with you. So we're going to be using again the Angels of Atlantis deck, and remember the first stone of choice was that rutilated crystal quartz, and that was all about being open to the many and various paths that or opportunities that lie before you. So I'm going to try not to look at the camera because I don't want to see the cards on the bottom as I'm shuffling here. And we're going to ask for whatever message for the month of November is for the people that chose the rutilated quartz. And so I'm going to look now for whatever card might be popping up for me. And this one's popping up. This is Archangel Raphael with empathy. So for those of you that chose the rutilated quartz, your message is about having empathy. Now, empathy is about feeling for the other person, whatever they're going through. And in fact, you know, that word that we often like to use in the metaphysical field of being empathic, you know, is part of empathy here. Being empathic is that we're feeling other people's feelings and emotions, that we can empathize with that. We can have empathy for what they're going through because we're feeling their pain, or we're feeling maybe their happiness or their joy. It's not always about, you know, things that are painful or challenging, but we're feeling whatever that person's going through. We're able to empathize with that. So Archangel Raphael, they're saying also that it's not just about others too, but they're wanting you to have like empathy for yourself. And Archangel Raphael is, you know, that angel of healing. He's here to help us heal physically, but also here to help us, emotionally heal. So if you're going through something physically, call in Archangel Raphael. If you're going through something emotional and you need some healing, or you need to open your heart chakra in more of a space of unconditional love or compassion, maybe for someone else, maybe for yourself, call on Archangel Raphael. I feel like there is a special meditation that you could possibly do that's opening up the heart chakra. Not necessarily to open up the heart chakra to someone else. They're talking more here with this message about opening your heart chakra for yourself. As you tune in and open up your heart chakra, expand that heart chakra, balance that heart chakra, and this emerald green light is Archangel Raphael's color. So you can visualize an emerald green ball of light there, or you could even visualize pink light. That's also, to me, a heart chakra color, and you can visualize that pink light at the heart chakra for unconditional love as well. But this is going to assist you in getting more in touch with your own healing abilities, getting more in touch with your own intuitive and psychic abilities, getting more in touch with self-love, as well as unconditional love of others, and compassion for other people. And they're also talking about surrendering, that this is also a message about surrendering to the path, or surrendering the decision. And they're going back to that rutilated quartz being many different paths or possibilities, and perhaps needing to make a decision. Surrendering the decision rather than being in a state of confusion. but asking for assistance from your angels and guides to show you which path or which decision or which opportunity might be the best for you, and then surrendering to whatever it is that they show you and tell you, or however that comes about, how it unfolds. So it's very interesting. It's almost like you're falling into something new. You know, it's almost like you're surrendering and falling into this new path or this new energy, this new birth energy. Okay. And then for those of you that chose the quartz crystal cluster, all right. So let's go ahead and shuffle these cards again and ask for the quartz crystal cluster people and what their message is, and showing me a card that's signifying the message for them. This one I kept looking at, and then of course it ended up on top. So Archangel Zapkiel with ecstasy. Now that's very interesting, and I can't even tell you exactly, you know, Archangel Zapkiel and his qualities. He's one of those archangels that sometimes eludes me or whatever. So this is Zaphiel, Archangel Zapkiel. So look up his energy and find out, you know, more about him. But in this card, this message is about ecstasy. Now, sometimes we think of ecstasy in a sexual sense, and that's not what this is about. This is a message about being in a state of spiritual ecstasy, which is being in a state of spiritual, like, joy, spiritual happiness, spiritual fulfillment. You know, just feeling so good that it's just a wonderful feeling of you know, thinking about that new birth. I'm getting this, like, that new birth energy, and just falling into and just feeling this ultimate joy and thankfulness and gratitude and beauty and just all the positive good words you can think of. That's the state of ecstasy here that we're talking about. And you can see that in this card, there is a woman. It almost looks like a nun. She almost looks like she's wearing a habit, but she's being assisted or helped by two angels or two cherubs here in this card, almost as if she's being lifted up into the heavens. And so, you know, in this message of the state of ecstasy with Archangel Zapkiel, it's almost like you're being lifted up from something that was pulling you down. You know, maybe it was a situation, maybe it was a relationship, maybe there was something disempowering happening over the last few weeks or few months, and it's almost now like you're being lifted up and out of that. And again, I feel like that surrender is part of it. So surrender, ask for assistance, and surrender to whatever the guidance is or what have you. Now, how does this relate to working with community? I feel like this is about, you know, this is about building together with people of like mind, if you are in fact, you know, doing that. Now, some of you may have chose the stone without that idea of working in a humanitarian way, which is fine. But there's something about working together with other people or connecting with your soul family, you know, others that you're spiritually related to, if not, you know, not necessarily biologically, but spiritually kind of related to on a soul level, that in connecting with those other people, it's like you're all being raised to a higher vibration. And as you're all raised to a higher vibration, it's allowing you all, either individually or together, as some of you might be meeting and coming together, but it's helping you to move forward in a much more joyous way. And it's helping you to raise your vibration into a higher, like fifth dimensional and above vibrational level, so that things start happening, manifesting almost in a magical way. To me, I look at this card and I almost feel like a magical energy, the magical energy of the ecstasy that the universe is showering down upon you. All right, and then for those of you that chose the feminine quartz crystal here, let's see what your message is. Okay, so for those of you that chose the feminine quartz crystal, this one is kind of being pulled up for me. I love it. Archangel Gabriel with inspiration. And we've been talking a lot about inspiration with Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. Okay, So Archangel Gabriel is the messenger angel, the angel that often helps people whose life purpose or life paths have to do with the communication fields or the creative fields or the artistic fields in some way. So even if you're not within that life path, of the creative or the written word or spoken word or what have you, this is a message that you're going to be given messages of inspiration. And you can almost look here, there's almost like this is another world. Now this is clearly the earth right here. And this other world, this higher dimensional world, is kind of shining light down onto the earth. Just like that planet or that star or that, this even could be an otherworldly or star brothers and sisters, home kind of place. You want to call it a UFO, so to speak. But this is kind of a download of information, a download of higher vibrational, higher dimensional information, messages, inspiration, creative ideas is coming to you. So be open to what that's all about. And how does that relate to the divine feminine? Well, our planet Earth, Earth Mother Gaia, has that feminine energy. And so here we have Earth Mother Gaia pictured here. And this is going to, it's almost like this download of energy or information is putting us more in touch with our divine feminine nature. And our divine feminine nature is part of creation. Again, how a woman births a child. We are the creators in that way. Mother Earth is the creator in that way, Earth Mother Gaia. And this card also is we're birthing this new feminine energy within us, this feminine energy of creation. So what is it that you want to create in your life or create on your path? Be open to this download of information. Be open to the messages that come in. Be open to the ideas of inspiration that come in. Call upon Archangel Gabriel to assist you with those messages or through communicating or networking with the right people. They're even saying that you're going to be networking, some of you, with your star brothers and sisters of the light, now that I bring that up. So for those of you that, are open to that, call upon your star brothers and sisters of the light and allow this inspirational energy, this download of information to take place. So I hope you've liked this monthly angel card reading. For those of you that are newly watching this, you just happen maybe to stumble across my video, know that I also do weekly angel card reading videos. So if you want to go onto my YouTube channel under Colleen Lemma and watch that, or watch those, that would be good. Occasionally I also do what's called a soul reflection video. I haven't done one of those in a while, but you can also watch for my soul reflection videos by subscribing to the channel, making sure that you don't miss any of the monthly and weekly, and that you would also be able to get those soul reflection videos. Thank you to all of you that follow me on my Facebook pages under Colleen Lemma and Sacred Soul Empowerment, or that visit my website, sacredsoulempowerment.com, and see what I have to offer there. I send you all lots of love and light on this month of new beginnings, of the Fool's new journey on his new path, and I send you many, many angel blessings. Namaste, everyone.